Now, we're not going to identify this contestant panel because to identify him would be to tip off his secret. We will call him simply Dr. X. Now, Doctor, if you will whisper your secret to me, we will show it at the same time to the folks out there. Now, wait a minute. There is even more. All right, to help to classify Dr. X's secret, I'll tell you it concerns something that he did, and we'll start with Bill Cullen, please.
The name Dr. X always reminds me of those motion pictures like the mysterious machine of Dr. X or something like that.
Yeah.
You didn't make any of those pictures, did you, Doctor?
You didn't make any of those particular movies.
No.
No. Dr. X, is this something you did recently?
Well, I'm still working on it, yes.
Mm-hmm. Is it something you did and are doing then in the normal course of your work?
Yes.
Let me say, Bill, lest we mislead you, however, that the original work on this was not done recently. It's a continuing action, but the secret, as stated, was not done recently.
Is there any object connected with this secret then, Dr. X?
Yes, I think I'm quite sure there's an object.
Do doctors use this object?
Yes, it's been used in surgery.
Is this some kind of a machine that might be painful when it's used?
Yes, sometimes it's most painful.
Sometimes it's most painful. $20 down and $60. You're a wise man. $20 down and $60 to go, and we go to Jane Meadows, please.
Then, if I gather right, Dr. X, you have been engaged in some kind of experimental work, which is still continuing. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Do you work in any kind of a laboratory or a place like that?
Yes.
Would this remotely or in any way be connected with psychiatric cases?
No, not especially.
Not. It would be more in the medical...
In very rare instances, it's been known to cause a few, but that really isn't the purpose of it. So let's say no, okay?
That's all.
There seems to be a great deal of laughter answering these questions. Could I assume, however, that what you are working on could be considered a blessing to mankind?
I think, generally speaking, it has been a blessing, yes.
It is a blessing, or it has been a blessing, you say?
Has been and is.
Do you use any little animals, mice, rats, or anything in your experimental work? Rabbits or anything?
I have used them, yes. But I think it would be misleading to say so.
You think what, sir?
Misleading to...
Yes, I think it would be misleading in the sense in which the question was asked. $40 down and $40 to go, and we go to Henry Morgan. So let's forget the rats and the mice.
Doctor, would it help me, or anybody else, to know what kind of doctor you are?
Make him guess. Make him work at it. Yes, it would help.
Sure.
Yes, it would help.
Are you a dentist?
No.
I didn't hear you.
No,
Oh,
not a dentist.
Your research, I gather you've been doing some research on something that...
Yes, I'm a research man.
Yeah. It's going to help some common difficulty that we all experience, I imagine.
Yes, I should say it were and has.
Well, is it something as common as, what's pretty common? A common cold?
Yes, I think it's as common as a common cold.
We're getting into pretty obscure territory, and I think you fellas have led yourself down the garden path. Shall we cut him off? Let's cut him off because you're just wandering farther and farther. Faisy, it was your turn, but if you'll forgive me, I'll forfeit the money and tell you that he is a doctor of science in the scientific medicine, of a scientific field. This is the famous Dr. Philo T. Farnsworth, who invented electronic television.
Doctor, truthfully, are you sorry?
No, I'm not.
Well, it's up to you.
I asked him the same question. He said sometimes. He said sometimes. Now, he is, of course, the technical director of Farnsworth Electronics Company in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And sir, how old were you when you invented television, or the first television machine as we know it today, first television system?
I was 14.
14 years old. As I understand it, sir, let me say first of all that when I heard I was going to meet Dr. Farnsworth tonight, I expected an old man with a long gray beard. I just couldn't believe it. Now, I'd like to ask you, there had been television sets of sorts before you came along, had there not been?
Yes, there had been attempts to devise a television system using mechanical discs and rotating mirrors and vibrating mirrors.
But all mechanics, all mirrors?
All mechanical.
And what was your contribution?
My contribution was to take out the moving parts and make the thing entirely electronic. And that was the concept that I had when I was just a freshman in high school.
He was the one who put electronics into television, which makes it possible for us to have whatever it is that we have now. And then, of course, as the machines developed, there were other people who made contributions, too.
Oh, yes. There are literally thousands of inventions important to television.
And how many patents do you hold, sir, in the television field?
I hold
electronics field?
Something in excess of 165 American patents.
165 American patents. Let's go from the past, sir, the not-too-recent past, to the future. What are you working on now?
Well, in television, we're attempting first to make better utilization of the bandwidth, because we think we can eventually get in excess of 2,000 lines instead of 525. And do it on even narrower channel, if possibly, than we're doing the present television.
Which will make for a better picture,
Make for a much sharper picture. Then we hope, we believe in the picture frame type of a picture, where the visual display will be just a screen. Then we hope for a memory so that the picture will be just as though it's pasted on there. And many improvements will result in the camera when you use such devices, because there's part of the scene that you can remember, and you practically have a memory file of it, and will simplify production of it.
He's also working in nuclear fusion, and some of the things he says that are going to happen, we're going to heat our homes, we're going to cool our homes, we will cook, we will run our automobiles, all transportation by nuclear fusion, and the future is unlimited. Is that true?
Well, electronics really has had several offspring as a science and an art. One of them is nucleonics, and in the field that I'm essentially interested in now, or doing most of my work, is the taming of the H-bomb, the hydrogen fusion problem.
Dr. Farnsworth, we could sit here for many, many hours and talk. Most fascinating man I've met in many a long year. But unfortunately, television being what it is, it's your baby, and we're out of time. So here are your Winston, sir, the money that you won, and our eternal gratitude. I'd be out of work if it weren't for you. Thank you very much.